I'm colored. You don't understand me. You don't understand me. If I was a different color, you would. And it's true.
That's so
it's
not.
so true. It's so true, and you know this. You know what I'm talking about.
I call out discrimination when I see it.
Today's case takes us to Harris County, Texas for a probable cause hearing. We're in the courtroom of Judge David Fleischer, along with the defendant, Maria Gill. She's been accused of a hit and run, legally known as failure to stop and give information, or FSGI, and she's already on thin ice due to her prior history.
Not only are you on a felony probation for assault of a peace officer, not only are you on felony probation for injury to a child under 15, but you pick up, after both of those, an evading arrest in a motor vehicle, and now an FSGI.
This also means Miss Gill could be in even more trouble with her open felonies depending on the outcome of today's new case. So what happened? Well, the prosecutor says that after Miss Gill sideswiped another driver, instead of stopping,
the complainant stated that she blew her horn several times for the defendant to stop, and the defendant refused. The complainant followed for approximately 3 miles to 15242 Wallsville Road, and the complainant and the defendant exited their vehicle, and the complainant told the defendant that she hit her vehicle and needed insurance information. The defendant then told the complainant no, and that she was getting something to eat.
The address given by the prosecutor is a strip mall on Houston's east side. As Ms. Gill went inside to buy her food, the complainant called the police. But before they arrived, Ms. Gill got back in her vehicle, food in hand.
The complainant blew her horn several times to get the defendant to stop and told her the police were coming, but the defendant ignored the complainant. The defendant then began to put her vehicle in reverse and proceed backwards, hitting the complainant's vehicle a second time. The complainant.
So are you telling me that now it was intentional?
Sure. The complainant moved her vehicle to avoid being hit and followed the defendant. The complainant flagged the police down to identify the defendant as the person who struck her vehicle. The estimated damage from the complainant was around $4,000.
The hearing begins with prosecutors outlining a hit-and-run case that quickly raises concerns about public safety. According to investigators, the defendant allegedly sideswiped another vehicle, ignored repeated requests to stop, and drove away despite the other driver following her for several miles. Instead of exchanging information, she reportedly entered a restaurant before leaving again. Prosecutors then reveal an even more serious allegation that the complainant's vehicle was struck a second time while attempting to stop her, setting the stage for an increasingly tense courtroom hearing.
Then makes a comment that catches the entire courtroom off guard.
And the defendant stated she didn't stop because she was hungry and colored.
And what?
Colored.
Colored.
Yes, Your Honor.
And while it's an odd detail, the hearing seems to continue normally for the time being. Judge Fleischer takes away her driving privileges in a speech which longtime Judge Fleischer fans can recite word for word, but even that goes sideways.
I am taking away your privilege to drive. You will now be signing an affidavit with me today, promising me you're not going to drive. I don't give a rat's behind what your excuse is. If I find that you drive in violation of this affidavit, I will have a contempt. I can have a contempt hearing. I can have a contempt.
After.
Finish.
I'm so sorry.
Finish.
It's at this moment Ms. Gill drops a piece of information that changes the rest of the hearing.
I'm a commercial driver.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
You, if you do have a CDL,
Sorry, that is correct. She does have a valid CDL.
are held to an even higher standard because of that CDL. You now have a total of 4 open cases, one of those being this FSGI and an evading arrest in a motor vehicle. I am taking away.
As prosecutors finish describing the incident, one unexpected statement immediately grabs the courtroom's attention. The defendant claims she didn't stop because she was hungry and colored, leaving everyone momentarily stunned. Judge David Fleer continues the hearing by explaining the strict conditions of release and announces that her driving privileges will be suspended. The situation escalates again when the defendant unexpectedly reveals she holds a commercial driver's license. prompting the judge to remind her that professional drivers are held to an even higher legal standard.
To drive. If I find that you do, I can have a contempt hearing. You can be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine. I truly am at a loss with the attitude.
Okay.
Truly.
Okay.
This case here, not only do we have an FSGI, but it's also alleged that you backed up and hit the person intentionally. Because allegedly hungry and covered. So now, this is an affidavit, and I hope that you take it seriously. Because if you don't, there will truly be disastrous consequences. Ms. Gill, I want you to understand that I'm going to do everything in my power to protect my public at all costs. Do you understand?
I understand you, Your Honor.
Sarah Goucher, the public defender appointed to this case, tries to get the hearing back on course, but when she asks for Ms. Gill's release from custody, the judge responds,
She's made a bond in the felony already.
I think with her demeanor, her attitude, her reckless and wanton action on the road, is that you are a danger to the public. And your bond is now set at 1,000, and I'm going to raise it to 5 because I think that you really are a danger to the public, and your attitude shows us and tells me that, hey, I'm going to do what.
After reviewing the defendant's criminal history, the judge expresses growing concern about what he views as a pattern of dangerous behavior. He warns that violating the court's driving restrictions could result in additional jail time and financial penalties. The court also considers allegations that the complainant's vehicle was intentionally struck during the encounter. Believing the defendant presents a continuing risk to the public, the judge sharply criticizes her attitude before increasing scrutiny over whether she should remain free while the case moves forward.
I want to do, and that's it.
Just when it seems as though this hearing can't possibly get any worse, Ms. Gill decides to speak openly with the judge against the advice of both her attorney and the judge himself.
All we want are our streets to be safe.
You're not helping me, Your Honor. You're not helping
Don't say
me.
anything.
I'm struggling. I'm a single mom, and I've been struggling with the courts for years already, and I'm tired of this. Okay? I was beat, okay, in front of my children, and I was thrown on the ground like an animal, okay? And I'm tired of this. I'm tired of all of this, okay? In front of my children. My children have trauma, okay? And I have no insurance for the medication, and I have not been on the medication. I'm trying to get the insurance to get on the medication.
Ms. Gill,
Okay.
I understand that, but at some point, your actions become your own, right?
You don't understand. I'm colored. You don't understand me. You don't understand me. If I was a different color, you would. And it's true.
That's
Just as the hearing appears to be wrapping up, the defendant speaks directly to the judge despite repeated warnings. She describes years of personal struggles, says she's raising children on her own, and explains that financial hardship has prevented her from receiving medication she believes she needs. The emotional testimony shifts from the traffic allegations to her personal life, creating one of the hearing's most sympathetic moments. Even so, the judge reminds her that difficult circumstances cannot excuse decisions that may endanger others on a road.
so
It's
not.
so true. It's so true. And you know this. You know what I'm talking about.
I call out discrimination when I see it on a daily basis, ma'am. I don't care who it is. I don't care what color. If they're a small farm animal, I don't care. I call it when I see it. The only thing, because I don't know them. The way I get to know them is paper. And they tell me what happens in the case. And from what I see here and what has transpired here within the last 10 minutes, really?
Officer Harris did not read me my rights.
Well, I will let
They've been mishandling me like this for years already, okay? I have the right to tell you this. And I'm telling you, she did not read me my rights. She just shoved me behind the officer car. I did not get a voice to speak out anything.
Yes.
She just brought me to jail.
You guys speak about that. I'll tell you, look, here's what I'm going to do.
The hearing reaches its most dramatic point when the defendant accuses the court of treating her differently because of her race. She insists the judge cannot understand her experiences and claims law enforcement has mistreated her for years, including allegations that officers failed to advise her of her rights. Judge Fleer remains composed throughout the emotional exchange, explaining that his decisions are based on the evidence before him rather than anyone's background. The tense back and forth becomes a defining moment of the entire proceeding.
I'm going to leave your bond at $1,000 now. All right. I'm not going to raise it to $5,000, but I can't continue to give you a PR bond.
Terminated from employment too.
Listen,
Okay.
do not drive. It's the only thing I'm asking you to do.
I'm a commercial driver.
Don't pick up a new
Yes,
case.
sir. Yes, sir.
And just, all right. Come on. Justin.
Court record.
Rather than escalating the situation further, the judge makes one final decision that surprises the courtroom. Although he considered significantly increasing the defendant's bond, he instead leaves it unchanged while making one condition absolutely clear. She must not drive or pick up another criminal case. The hearing closes on a calmer note, and later court records reveal prosecutors ultimately dismissed the charge after the defendant was referred for mental health treatment. The outcome highlights how courtroom decisions often balance accountability, public safety, and underlying personal circumstances. If you enjoyed this courtroom breakdown, don't forget to subscribe, and turn on notifications. We'll see you in the next video.